Welcome to XFO Intelligence Podcast. I'm your host, and today we're exploring something that defines the trajectory of every entrepreneurial journey, the moment of truth. That critical point where the cash is vanishing, the market has turned, and a once bright future looks bleak. This isn't the exception in entrepreneurship, it's the crucible in which great companies are forged. Today we're diving into the art of the comeback, how to forge triumph from the ashes of crisis. We've decoded the patterns behind the most legendary business turnarounds, and here's what we've discovered. A comeback is not a miracle born of sheer will. It is a disciplined, repeatable process. A crisis is not just a threat to be survived. It is the raw material for your company's most profound reinvention. Let me share with you the comeback code, the 6 forces of resurrection. The transformation from near collapse to market dominance hinges on a powerful evidence-based formula. Honesty plus constraints plus networks plus capital plus luck plus timing. Now, while you can't control luck, you can position yourself to catch it. And while timing is fickle, you can learn to move with precision. But the first 4 elements, honesty, constraints, networks, and capital, these are entirely within your power to master. Before we get to the blueprint, let's address the mindset. Every comeback artist must first accept 3 uncomfortable truths. Truth number 1, denial is a faster killer than failure. In 1997, with Apple facing bankruptcy, Steve Jobs didn't offer platitudes. He told his team the brutal truth: the products suck. They've lost their soul. Survival begins when you stop spinning the story and start confronting the facts. Truth number 2, constraints are your unlikely allies. When Marvel emerged from bankruptcy in 1998, it had no cash, only a library of 5,000 characters. This limitation forced a brilliant strategy. License Spider-Man to Sony to generate revenue, then use that proof of concept to self-finance Iron Man. What seemed like a weakness became their ultimate leverage. Truth number 3, your network is your net worth. No CEO saves a company alone. The success of Pixar's Brain Trust, Apple's supply chain overhaul under Tim Cook, and Netflix's decentralized model all share a common thread: empowered teams and strategic alliances. Crucially, this network must be built on trust before the crisis hits. You cannot activate a dormant circuit in a storm. Now let's get into the 4-phase comeback blueprint. But first there's phase 0, legal triage, day 0 through 3. Before strategy comes survival. You must ask the hard questions. Are you insolvent? Are creditors seizing assets? Is fraud alleged? Some crises are terminal. Know the difference between a battle and the end of the war, and have the courage to act accordingly. Phase 1, emergency response, the first 72 hours. Face the brutal facts, calculate your runway, that's cash divided by monthly burn, identify your core revenue drivers, list all legal threats, protect your core, ruthlessly cut everything that isn't the 20% of your business generating 80% of your profit. As Starbucks did in 2008, this means closing underperforming stores and refocusing on quality. Launch lean experiments. Initiate 3 to 5 small, fast experiments, cost less than $10,000, time less than 2 weeks, to find new paths to growth. More than 5 will paralyze a small, stressed team. Phase 2, pathfinding, weeks 1 through 4. Follow the success trails. Kill 70% of your experiments. Double down on the 1 to 2 that show real traction, as Marvel did when it pivoted from toy licensing to film production. Map your hidden assets. Catalog all resources, not just cash, but also your top talent, alumni network, key supplier relationships, and intellectual property. Secure bridge capital. Get creative. Seek customer pre-orders like Tesla, supplier concessions like Apple's 1997 deal with Microsoft, or a strategic investment like Google in YouTube. Phase 3, momentum building, months 1 through 3. Scale your winners. Commit 70% of your resources to what's working. Preserve exploration. Keep 30% for new smart bets to avoid stalling. Strengthen your network. Cultivate 8 to 12 strong ties, investors, key hires, and 20 to 30 weak ties, advisors, peers. Remember, luck equals preparation times exposure. Marvel was lucky with Iron Man because Spider-Man had prepared the market. They positioned themselves for that luck. Phase 4, transformation. Months 3 through 6 and beyond. Build to adapt. Institute weekly reviews to ask, what's working? Maintain strategic slack only if your runway is secure. Weaponize your story. Your comeback narrative is your most potent recruitment and marketing tool. Apple's Think Different campaign rallied talent, customers, and investors around a resurrection story. Pay it forward. The mentor you become today builds the network that will save you in your next crisis. So where do you start? Your comeback doesn't start with a grand strategy. It starts with one honest conversation. Gather your team and answer these questions. What is our real financial runway? What 20% of our business is still working? What 3 small experiments can we launch this week? Who are the 5 people we can call for help right now? Here's the hard-won insight that I want to leave you with. The uncomfortable reality is that not every crisis can be survived. But for those that can, the path is clear. It is not a path of blind hope, but of radical honesty, strategic discipline, and the deliberate activation of every resource and relationship at your disposal. Master honesty, constraints, networks, and capital. In doing so, you will not just be surviving, you will be positioning yourself to seize the luck and timing that turns a crisis into your company's defining triumph. That's a wrap on today's episode of XFO Intelligence Podcast. If you found value in this framework, share it with a fellow entrepreneur who might be facing their own moment of truth. Remember, every crisis carries within it the seeds of transformation. Until next time, forge ahead.